How's it going, guys? Luke here from Mr. Crypto UK, bringing you episode 4, is it now, of the daily mini-series that I'm bringing out. Well, I'm saying mini-series for the minute. I could extend it. I'm just going to keep going, I think. And I'll probably do other videos, slightly more dedicated, longer videos in between. A little bit more of like a depthy sort of chat about a certain aspect of the market, rather than these sort of small snippets, which are easy to watch because they're quick. But I'm not going to go too much depth into whatever I'm talking about each day. So, yeah, if something's really interesting that you want me to talk more about, maybe just smash the comments. Tell me that you want maybe a little bit more sort of in-depth video on something, and I will go ahead and do it. But at the moment, it's still just going to be a 5-10 minute video updating the market as of this morning or this afternoon. Well, actually, for today it's this evening, but usually I try to do it in the day. And then going into one subject that I've been looking into. So current market today is pretty stagnant. It's still around the 300 billion market cap. Bitcoin, and it's up about 1%. Not really a huge amount going on. But obviously you can see here Vechain. This is what I'll actually be talking about today. And by chance, it happens to have pumped 26% today. But actually, I didn't even know. I was looking into it, and it's a coincidence it's up that high, which is a good sign, I guess. But I don't actually own any VeChain, but in the future I will. So I'll let this sort of stabilize. Usually when it pumps this much, it will stabilize over the next week or so. So I expect this to go down from $2.50, maybe to the $1.98 or something. It's hard to tell these days. But I'll just keep watching it before I actually go decide to buy anything, because I wouldn't ever suggest buying it this. So yeah, the market isn't really doing much. A couple of percent here and there. Nothing too exciting to talk about on that front. So let's go ahead and just talk about exactly what I want to talk about, which is VeChain. So this is VeChain. Right, so it's up 26%. So you might be asking, why is it up 26%? Well, it's ranked 17, so it's a pretty decent project. And obviously you can see this is up here, but it, relatively it's quite low compared to what it's been. It's been at $5 there, and it's been at $9, around the $10, $9.50. You just look there. Obviously that's at the peak, but it's showing that it's got good sort of future potential because it has already been there. So I like things that have already been at a really high amount, so that I know that it doesn't need a lot to go back to that, and it's worth it. It would be worth it, if you kind of get what I'm trying to say. When doing the other way around, new projects, when they're hitting the all-time highs, you're unsure how far it can go. So I prefer to see it the other way around, where it's actually it's worse, because I can sort of see the potential. So VeChain, right? So briefly, this is what VeChain does. Okay, so what they're ultimately trying to do is build the world's leading blockchain platform for supply chain management. Now you might be asking, what does that mean? Basically, what their aim is to provide full transparency and proof of authenticity of product in the supply chain. So like a live real time. So this is exactly visibility. Exactly how it works. Visibility. So you can see it from the manufacturer all the way through to the consumer, us, or a business, for example. So obviously it can be across, it can be implemented within all supply chain, no matter what the industry. So for example, you want to buy some clothes or like some handbags or something, but you don't know if it's authentic. You buy it from a shop. And they might not know if it's authentic. They might obviously go on the assumption, yes, it's authentic because I'm buying from X, whoever. But it's very possible that somewhere along the line, before it's got to that shop, some authentic products have actually been added. But it's unknown, because there's no way to track. Once you've got it, once I've got that item, there's no way for me to now go back and find sort of the points along the chain. So like a paper trail, it's impossible. I can't find out. So there's no way to verify, back up. It's like if you were having I think something that's like a really valuable, like a signed poster, of someone really famous, for example. If it hasn't got a certificate with it, it's very difficult to now back it up, because you're guessing if it's authentic or not. But with this, it would actually be able to get tracked, so you would have visibility of everything. You could even go back and literally scrutinize it, check it, and it will all be live. So as it gets to each section of the supply chain, it will update on the blockchain automatically, and you'll be able to go and see that. And it's not for everyone, of course, but it's for companies looking to add value to their business. If you are able to say to people that you can literally track the history of that product from it being made, and you can go online and look into the blockchain, because obviously a blockchain is there for everyone to look at. It's all visible, everything's recorded, and you can look at everything that has been recorded. That's the point. Nothing's hidden. And yeah, it's sort of a really interesting, exciting thing, because a lot of businesses want proof of just the whole process, you know. It's more security, and it's just a bit more safe to know where it's come from and stuff like this. Definitely with like the quality of authentics these days in all areas, like, you know, cigarettes and this, it's almost impossible to tell the originals because it's so good. And this will just eradicate anything to do with is it or isn't it. So yeah, now the great thing about this is why I'm talking about it, is that I'm very much into sort of diversifying my portfolio. So I hold some coins and some, you know, on my Legend NOS, some Ethereum, and I haven't got any blockchain, any Bitcoin, but I've got some Ethereum, Ripple, and a couple of others, and I'm basically staking my NEO for gas. So the more NEO I have, it's giving me a dividend, which is actually called gas. And that gas is what you would, if you were going to basically go on to NEO and create something on the NEO blockchain, you use the gas as currency. So you sort of you're gaining sort of, I call it a passive income. So obviously, if you can build up your NEO, you could be getting, I think I'm only getting like $50, $60 a year, which is nothing. But obviously at the mark, but if it goes back to its all-time high, for both, I'll be getting $600. So if I start adding to my NEO over time, while it's relatively cheap, that could go to 1,000. I can get passive income of 1,000 or 2,000, you know, so on, depending how much I buy. Now, Vechain has exactly the same principle behind it. So it used to be called VEN. You can see here VEN, the VEN token, but it's now VET, I think it is, Vechain THOR, because it's moving from the Ethereum blockchain. So it was using Ethereum blockchain to run, and now it's got its own mainnet. You can see up here that the Vechain THOR mainnet has launched, and VEN is currently being swapped to VET. So they're basically phasing out the VEN because it's obsolete now, and you can now go on to their own blockchain. And yeah, and what happens now is that when it gets on, so it's sort of in transition at the moment. Once it's got on to its own blockchain, you can then send Vechain to the wallet. So they have a new wallet that I've downloaded and had a look, and it looks pretty nice actually. It's quite slick. I mean, if you want to go, you can medium here. It goes on into the details of it. But you can just type in Vechain THOR in the App Store, both on Android and iOS. It's the same, yeah, Android and iOS. Just type in Vechain THOR, and you can download the wallet for free. And I just create an account to check it out. But you can basically stake your VET when it, you know, you can buy VET on Binance now. So you could buy it now, but obviously at a 26% premium to buying it yesterday. So I'm not going to, but you could. And then you can send it to your mobile wallet and then literally stake it. So literally just leave it in there, and it will generate passive income of THOR. Now, obviously, we don't know how much THOR is going to be worth. How much? There is a calculation figuring out how much you'll get, but no one knows what it's worth yet. So yeah, it's sort of irrelevant. So once we know what it's worth, we'll be able to see compared to NEO what it's sort of doing and stuff like that. So once I'll probably pick some up, and then I'll do another video and show you what I get. But yeah, like it's another extension to passive income. But the problem, so basically, the reason I'm saying it is that you can put all your money into Neo and stake it, and just for years and just build up your Neo, just thousands of Neo. But then you're relying on one thing. It's like with Hashflare. If you relied on Hashflare, cloud mining, it wouldn't exist now. Well, if you're doing the Bitcoin SHA-256 contract, it wouldn't be around anymore because they had to cancel them because it was making their money. It was actually losing us money, but obviously they didn't charge us. So by diversifying across about maybe 5 different passive income streams through the blockchain and through cryptos, if one does go down or something happens, or I don't know, you're not going to be worried or upset because it's an early market, still early adopters, or maybe just after early adopters. But because it's so new, a lot of things are going to fail more than they would in a mature market. So you've got to be wary that don't invest into one thing. You've got to spread, and that's like more of a long-term plan, because that means if something does happen, you're not going to be phased, and then you'll continue, and then in the long term it should reap. Because if you get burned and you lose all your money, then you're probably not going to get back into it, and by the time you do want to get back into it, it's probably already going to have been like 10x in 5 to 10 years time, and you'll be like, damn, why didn't I stay into it? And the reason you didn't is because you lost all your money, but you could have avoided that by diversifying, so that when maybe one did go down, you weren't worried and you sort of persisted. So even if you lose a little bit, that long term you're going to make money. And yeah, so Vechain for me, I'll probably build up my Neo a little bit more while it's cheap, but then Vechain I will start to get into as well, so that I can stake and get THOR and add another dimension to my current activity within the cryptocurrency space. So I'm going to end the video there because it's actually 12 minutes, a little bit longer than I thought it'd be. But yeah, hopefully you like it, because it's just another passive income. I keep looking for passive incomes, you see, because you can hold a coin, but it's not really generating anything. And obviously that can go down and up, and so by doing this, you're still getting something that irrelevant what the market's doing, which is great. I hope you liked the video. Please smash a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment if you want to see any sort of longer, in-depth videos going into deep dive right into the sort of any of the cryptos, or maybe you want some clarification on certain areas and I can do a longer video. But yeah, this is just a nice sort of snippet video just to explain another element of what I found. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. So have a good evening, and see you again for episode 5 tomorrow.